All right, let's talk about TV, because Sinclair Broadcasting Group has reportedly reached a deal to buy the 21 RSNs, or regional sports networks, from Disney that Disney got from Fox. Now, of course, the DOJ ruled that Disney must immediately sell those off for its acquisition of the rest of Fox, and that is what Disney has now done. This deal for Sinclair to get these 21 channels, reportedly worth $10 billion. It includes local sports channels in LA and Detroit. And this, by the way, is the third sports television deal Sinclair has made this year. Back in February, it announced it would launch a new sports network with the Chicago Cubs. And then in March, Sinclair backed the Yankees in buying back control of Yes Network. Sinclair went into business with Amazon for that deal. So Sinclair will be a minority stakeholder in Yes Network. By the way, one of the groups that was reportedly bidding for the 21 Fox RSNs, the Big Three, the basketball league run by Ice Cube. So Ice Cube lost out here. Liberty Media was also reportedly interested. And at one point in time, we heard Major League Baseball was interested in buying the channels. So that would have been interesting, but not going to happen. Big for Sinclair, though.
So what's the play for Sinclair? Because as we know, they own and operate, nearly 200 local TV stations. Yeah. They've made some sports plays already. How does this add into their portfolio?
Well, it's interesting because Sinclair, like every single other media company and content creator on the planet right now, is trying to, or has just launched, its own OTT offering as well. So Sinclair, I'm sure, will try its best to work in some content from those channels. Now, sometimes that's not as simple as you would think because of entrenched rights deals with the different teams. But in certain instances, I'm sure Sinclair will start also streaming games that are on those local channels live on Sinclair's own OTT platform. And that could help boost the platform. So let's say that you live in a market where the only place to watch the games on a TV right now is the local channel, but you don't pay for TV. You've cut the cord. If you find out that those games will be on Sinclair's OTT channel, then maybe it lures you to pay and subscribe. So that's one way to do it. And I should also say some of these RSNs do make good money and still are very profitable, although as a whole, the package is much less profitable than it was maybe 10 years ago because of cord cutting and streaming.
So you mentioned Cubs, Yankees. Do you imagine that this could create other teams with their own networks?
I think it could. That hasn't always worked out so well. The Dodgers, their channel isn't shown locally on Comcast, and that has been a major sticking point, a problem for Comcast subscribers in LA who want to watch Dodgers games. But yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting business that has always been little understood, sort of how fragmented it is. And I just think this makes Sinclair an instant giant player in sports when really it wasn't before. Now, Sinclair, before this deal, already did own Tennis Channel, and it is a part owner in the joint venture Stadium, but that really hasn't taken off yet. That's sort of like the video arm of The Athletic. All the Athletic writers are also allowed to be on video on Stadium, but Stadium hasn't gotten big yet. But this is interesting. And then, of course, we all know that even as big as Sinclair is, and it is the largest owner of local channels in the country, prior to a year and a half ago, no one really knew of Sinclair. It was just behind the scenes. It was a conglomerate. No one knew that name.
Right.
But now everyone does. And do you remember why?
Thanks to Trump.
That's right.
President
Trump's
Trump.
favorite TV company. Trump was a big public supporter of the Sinclair Tribune merger and was outraged when that merger, it looked clear that it was going to get turned down. So Tribune pressed the pause button, the halt button, I should say.
Just funny to see them doubling down on tethered network,
Yes,
right?
it is.
When
Exactly.
at a time when everyone is doubling down
Yep.
on the exact opposite.
It
And
seems like
baseball.
they've got two tracks going, though, right? I mean, 'cause they're looking at the streaming side, but also looking at, as you say, the tethered side. So we'll see how that strategy works.